Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and we're working on another knot today. And this one is the Clove hitch. And it is, I would say, probably one of the most essential knots. It's super useful. There's a few different ways to tie it. It's, I guess it's not a knot, it's a hitch. And I use it for pretty much anytime I want to tie around something and it's not that important. I'm not suspending something really heavy or like a person. I'm not going to climb with it or anything like that. Well, I take that back. There is one use case that I would climb with it, which I'll get to in a minute. But it's just a really easy, in my opinion, fun knot to tie. And I use it as like maybe a starter for other knots. I might use it as when I just need to hook onto something, basically. That's not real important. Like, it doesn't matter if it comes loose because it isn't the most stable. It can collapse. You know, you twist it around and stuff. It can work itself loose eventually and collapse on itself. But in the right scenarios, it's a great knot to know. So let's get into it. The Clove hitch, like I said. Oh, before we do that, like and subscribe. Oh my goodness, the dogs are playing a little rough, it sounds like. Be nice, you guys. I don't want to have to separate you. So yeah, subscribe to this channel, like the video, share to anybody who may enjoy this sort of thing. Oh, I missed it. All right, so Clove hitch. Here's what you do. You have to have something to tie off to. A pole, a rod, a tree, whatever that you want to attach a line to. And this is not a permanent type of thing, typically. This is something that you want to be able to kind of easily be able to undo. And, you know, it's not a real important knot. So you wrap around. And you are wrapping it around again, making kind of like an X. You're not doubling up on top of itself or wrapping around with parallel lines. You want to cross over itself and make that X shape or infinity shape or H shape, however you want to see this. You want to make that. And so now you want to stay on this side of your standing line and just tuck underneath itself. Just under this one side going next to that standing line and pull it tight. And that, my friends, is the Clove hitch. It just kind of stays where it is by friction for the most part. It will spin and kind of slide around as you're pulling on it, and depending, it may even work itself loose. But just pulling in this one direction, it's typically fine. And it's good for just kind of wrapping around things to carry them a little bit easier, bundle them together a little bit easier, or kind of like as a starting point. If you're binding, say, a bunch of, like you want to make, say, like a tripod, or you're like binding a bunch of sticks together. This is kind of a good starting point to just kind of hitch on, and then you can do your weaving and whatever to like really bundle it all together from there. So this is a good starting point knot. Because yeah, it can work itself loose. So let's do that again. You wrap around. You want to go off to the side, make an X, or either a kind of like an infinity, or your 8, or whatever, and you're staying on this side of your standing line, and you're just tucking it right underneath itself, completing that X or 8 or infinity, and it's a nice looking little knot. Tighten it up, and that's it. If you want to make it a little bit more secure, you know, you can tie this off, put a couple of little knots there, and that will definitely secure it some. But at that point, maybe consider tying a different knot if you feel like that's necessary, but whatever. So that's an option if you want to secure it. Maybe this is the only knot that you can remember. And it usually isn't too difficult to untie. Another way you can tie it is, and I use this for if you're, say, making a like a rope fence. So you got a bunch of sticks or rods or whatever you want to stick into the ground, and you want to use some kind of rope or cordage as your crossbars or like your horizontal part. So it's nice because you can tie this hitch in the middle of a line. This is one of the knots, one of the few knots that I know you can do this with. And so it's super easy to do. Just kind of wrap around like that. So you're just basically grabbing it and turning it towards the your rod or your pole or whatever, and put it over. And then you just do the exact same thing again. Boom, and put it over. And now, oops, when you pull that, you've got a clove hitch. Alright, so let's do that again. You're going boom, and I'm just grabbing and turning it, folding it on itself in the same direction twice. Oh, I'm sorry. I realized I got a little bit off screen. So starting here, and I'm grabbing, just pinching. Let me turn that way. There you go. Pinching and making a loop, and I'm crossing so that this end is going, I guess, towards, like, facing up against the line, and then turning in the same direction, basically just doing that exact same thing twice and putting it over again, and pull it tight. And then if you got another rod, so you go another 10 feet, 5 feet, whatever, 3 feet, and you can just do that again. Boop, boop, wrap it around, and you're good to go. You can do that multiple times and just make yourself a little fence. I have done this very thing before. I may have even done a video, I can't remember. It was a couple years ago, I think. Last year, I don't know. So, there you go. Wrap it on. Oh, wrap it on. Was that off screen? Sorry. There you go. And it stays put. It doesn't go from side to side. And I find that this is really stable. If you have both ends tied off like that, it's a pretty stable knot. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't collapse on itself or anything like that. You're good this way. If you're just putting tension on one side, that's where it's not the safest knot. Now, another use case for this is, and actually another way to tie it, you can tie it with a carabiner the exact same way. But let's say you are you're like doing some rock climbing, or maybe not rock climbing, but just like some hiking, and maybe it's some kind of sketchy terrain and it goes really close to water, or it's kind of rocky or something like that, and you've got kids with you, or you've got someone who is new to hiking and for whatever reason isn't that comfortable, and so you could make like a confidence line. I did do a video where I showed you guys how to make a harness out of just some straps and webbing, what do you call them, a sling. And you can also make one out of cordage or whatever. So you can make a little harness, have yourself a climbing rated carabiner like this one. This is by Black Diamond. And see how it opens, but it also will lock. Turn this around, and now it won't open. So this is a climbing rated carabiner. I forget the number, how many pounds is rated for, but I'm not that fat. It's fine for us. And so you can have a guideline, tie this off, have somebody who is confident go up ahead, tie off to something very secure, a tree or some rocks or whatever, in a safe way, and then you can have this guideline or confidence line. The person is clipped into it and move along this line and have something to hold on, and they'll feel a lot safer, you'll feel a lot safer, and all of that. However, if they fall, there's nothing to stop them from just whee, just sliding all the way down. It's really just a confidence, training wheels. If you're in kind of a sketchy position and you want them to stay still, in the same spot, then what you can do is make a clove hitch. And so you can do it this way, where you just tie it in your hand. So make a loop, and then go the exact same way, make another loop, like that. And if you look at that, that's a clove hitch. And so I can just clip in. Now, you got a, whoopsie, I did that wrong. So, don't you love it when I do stuff? I'm trying to teach you guys how to do stuff, and then I do it wrong like an idiot. Totally know what I'm doing, guys. So there you go. And that time it locked in. And so now it's not moving, right? And so now this person can stay secure. These two ends are both tied off. So they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to fall that way. They're not going to fall that way. And they can wait there while the more confident, better climber, hiker, whatever, can go and finish tying off or doing whatever it is they need to do. Maybe they need to go back to help somebody else, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to worry about them falling down the line. They don't have to worry about falling. They're going to feel safer. And when people feel safer, they're more confident, they behave safer. So this is a cool knot to use for that purpose as well. And I like it because, yeah, you can tie it right in the line. You don't have to undo anything. So I go that way, and then that way, and there you have your clove hitch again. So this never has to come off of your confidence line to do that. When you're done, just take it off, and there you go, and you're good. So it is, because you can turn two different ways, and it's like, how do you remember which way to turn? But I try to remember to have the friction up against the surface that you're clipping to. Oops. Because it yeah, so I would go that way, and then that way, and then I have my clove hitch. And this person never has to unclip, and we've got a nice line where they are pretty safe. Sorry, I keep moving off screen. Just as a little additional info, if you wanted something a bit more permanent for clipping in with a carabiner like that, there's something called an alpine butterfly, which you can also tie in the middle of a line. And let's say you've got multiple climbers and they're going to be, I guess, taking turns. You want them to stop at a certain spot. You can just tie that in. And now, this is definitely a climbing safe knot. And you just clip in like that. And they are not going anywhere with this one. This is a fixed loop. It's climbing rated. It's not going to come loose. It can be a little tough to untie at times, but this is a really good strong knot for this purpose. If you want that person to stop at that specific point and you're okay leaving that knot there, then they can unclip. Make sure you unclip the right way. So I had it that way, so yeah, unclip right there. Make sure I keep the line in there, and then I can keep going, and then the next person can go. So I maybe got a little bit off topic with this particular video. I'm talking about using guidelines and all that, but great use cases for the clove hitch. And these dogs, I tell you. All right, so clove hitch. Boom, boom. Oh, I did it wrong. It's kind of tricky when you don't go up against anything. Boom, boom. And there you go. That's it. So you want to turn it like I said, this up against the friction. You want to have some friction there, and you want this line to be kind of like smashed in the middle. So that's why when you turn it that way, there's no friction holding this line in. So you got to turn it towards whichever direction you are going to be. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm trying. Hopefully somewhere in those ramblings that made sense, and you got some good ideas on how you can use this knot and how to tie it. Was that 3 different ways? Like and subscribe. Give me some comments, feedback on that one. I feel like I got a little off topic, a little wide with that one. But if you are a regular watcher of this channel, you know I do that on occasion. Thanks for watching.